with every woman you can find. I heard that you are keeping four women beyond your new wife. You have a bastard daughter who runs about, but my sister, Honor, you slay her in childbirth.
Oh.
That was not my doing, only that of the Lord, sadly, as that was her
He seems
time.
very upset when you say that. He says, "Let us step outside before I lose my honor in beating you senseless, sir."
I'm not even making fun of you.
Robert just yells at him. He's like, "You have no honor if you dare challenge such a noble knight. God shall acquit Aurelius, and you shall
Actually,
see
I think
yourself
he's
a fool."
challenging him for the honor in it. I mean, he's a little bit angry. This is the right way to go.
Will you
Yeah, no, but
accept his
Robert's just like,
challenge?
Aurelius is an honorable knight, and God will decide in his favor.
This is a fairly direct challenge to my honor. He's going to accept it.
Okay. When you do, Uther stands up from the throne and says, "By God, I will not have knights bickering in my halls like women. You will remove yourself from this feast immediately.
I will
Oh.
bow and remove myself.
You are both forbidden to lay arms against each other for the whole year.
Oh, shit.
By order of the king."
I salute to the king, and then I turn to the knight and say, "In 1 year, then, prepare
The king
thyself."
seems furious that you would dare issue and accept challenge in his halls.
Bided by the length, though.
But you have gained an enemy, Lilacs, undisputed.
The undisputed. Aurelius, do not
Robert,
be. Yeah.
are you walking Sir Aurelius out?
Yeah, I'll walk with him. Aurelius, he's just like consoling him. These foolish knights. So prickly about their honor. Even when there is none of it.
It is a shame to have her memory stained in this way. Especially by a family member of hers. It troubles me so to have to bear my blade against a man who has now been incorporated into my own family.
Do not be troubled, Aurelius. You are a man of honor. I know you well. I have fought beside you. God shall guide your blade when the time comes.
Sure, I know what it's like to RP.
Well, speaking of duels, while Aurelius and Sir Robert are walking away, I will let you give one guess as to who approaches Sasha.
If you're from the Green Halls, I don't know who you are.
So, yes, he approaches. He's got the green on green banner of Croaker of the Green Halls, and he says, "Ah, you think your family can evade Croaker of the Green Halls?"
Frankly, I don't blame you. Dobbin was kind of an ass. He's kind of suspicious of everybody. Or was.
He says, "I demand satisfaction."
Is it a fight you want?
He says, "There's no need for fighting. All you need to do is invest upon my family £5.
Ugh. Not sure if Sasha would. £5 is a lot, but he doesn't want to avoid fighting because it's unnecessary.
You can think about it, tell him if you want. You don't have to give him a decision.
I know, I'm looking at my...
Finances.
Look! Maybe there's some other arrangement we can come to. I'm sorry about Dobbin, but frankly, he wasn't my problem. It's my family's. Oh,
He says,
now
"You
he
have
is
1
now.
year to make a decision,
He
lad.
is now, I suppose.
I'll be back around next year, and if ye have not paid me out in memory of the insult that your young nephew has offered me, then I will be back to collect the sum from your hide."
Well,
Arthur's
that
just
won't happen.
loving.
But until then, I'll think about something.
Okay. Is there
Arthur's
anything-
loving setting up his winter phase. Like he's gonna be so happy next winter. Just like
Nothing but bloodshed. Just think, Robert, you've got your duel. Now Aurelius has got his duel, and Sasha's
yeah.
got maybe a duel.
I'm gonna try to avoid it.
Try to avoid it. That might be smart.
It's a game where you can't just die in character creation. Sometimes you die in the cinematic during the winter phase. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, your horse falls over and dies. You get dysentery crossing the ford. Man, I do not know what's up with this chair today, but it's super uncomfortable. All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before, and of course not Aurelius because he's been banished from the feast hall, before the Council of Earl Roderick begins?
Yeah, Robert will just go introduce himself to the Duke.
Brastius?
That's just yeah.
Okay. You approach Brastius, and Brastius sees you coming and says, "You are the knight whose horse pooped on him, yes?"
My lord, Duke. Robert looks really confused. He has no idea what he's talking about.
And all the other people in line are like, "Yes, during his knighting ceremony, his horse pooped on him. It's true." And then someone else goes, "My lord Brastius, did you hear? I heard he loves poop. He rubbed pig feces on his face and ran about in the winter like a Saxon." And Brastius is like, "Now, men, calm down. No need to say such ill words to such a reputed knight as Sir... what was your name again?"
Sir Robert.
"Ah, yes, of course. No need to say such ill things about Sir Robert, the shit-eater." And everyone, straight face, everyone around him cracks up. He says, "Yes, of course, Sir Robert. What would you like?"
So Robert's fuming right now, and he bows politely and he tries to introduce himself politely, and he says,
What's your vengeful, real quick?
Vengeful's just 10, but he's quite proud. I mean, he's a little proud. His pride was reduced though by
Is it
that,
above? Is it 16 or higher?
no, it's not that high.
No problem.
Yeah. So, but he's kind of fuming, and he's just like, he's like, so he's like, I sought to exchange polite words with the noble man, but it seems to me, Lord Duke, you offer insult.
Oh, he says, "Oh, of course. My apologies, Sir Robert. Yes, Sir Robert. Let me tell you, Prince Madoc will lead an army to France. King Uther has pressing business in the realm here, will remain with half the muster troops. I will be here. Perhaps you will join me, Sir Richard."
I do not think so. I think the Franklands hold more glory, and I shall probably ride with Prince Madoc once again.
This is very well, Sir Rykard.
He bows and he leaves, fuming still. He's just pissed now. He doesn't like this Duke Brastius fool. Pompous, arrogant prick.
Okay. It's funny because Brastius is actually the realm diplomat.
So he comes back and he's just like complaining to Aurelius outside about Brastius and how he's a dick. Like,
Yeah, it's weird. that
So
people
sounds
would
like we'll be commiserating on that subject.
Do you like grab 2 big mugs of ale before you leave the feast hall just so that Aurelius will have something to drink in his banishment?
yeah.
Okay.
Of course, like you grab some food, you grab some meat, you grab like a leg of ham or something like that, and some meat, and he heads out.
So he has like a tray. He's like collating a whole bunch
Yeah.
of food. It just leaves the
Yeah.
hall. Everyone's
Yeah.
looking at him, and he's just like, "Fuck life."
Yeah. That's Robert.
All right.
Now, Robert, did you bring your wife with you?
Yeah, I think Robert would have. He likes Clarissa.
Okay.
Like and she'd like to be, I think, at these like functions,
So she's, of course, going around telling the tale about how she killed a Saxon 2 years ago. All of the women believe her, and all the men do not. Is there anything... Well, it sounds like Sasha's the only one left in the council hall. Is there anything you'd like to do before the council begins?
Oh, not necessarily.
Okay.
I don't like picking my. I like asking questions now and then, but not really one for sticking to other people's business.
All right. Earl Roderick summons his knights and counselors to advise him. He reveals that the king has offered a choice to either stay in Britain under the king or to go to the continent under Prince Madoc. The Earl wants to get the opinions of his knights before he makes a decision. He asks each knight to give their opinion, if they have one, as to whether they ought to go to France or remain behind. Anyone who would like may make a orate roll while giving their decision to sway the crowd.
So, question.
Yes.
It sounds like I've been banished for a year from the king's presence, so
Nope,
I think
just from the feast hall.
Okay. So, I'll make a... well, you know what? I'll wait to see what other people are.
Okay.
Well, Robert's just gonna offer his opinion. Let's see. He doesn't have much orate, but he'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Robert's gonna, my lord. I think it wise to raid the Franklands with Prince Madoc. There's glory to be won there, and I believe those Franks. Not that I care so much, but they have removed the true religion which my lord does profess. They've defeated those that profess my lord's religion, and perhaps some plunder to enrichen us for the years to come would also be useful.
I'm under the impression the Franks are
The
Christian.
Franks are actually, they worship the same gods as the Saxons,
Oh, really?
but they do not gain the Saxonic sacrifice bonus because they don't offer mass brawl deaths. They don't just murder a ton of people to gain secret bonuses. They're also usually less poorly armed and armored than Saxons, which is saying something.
Yeah.
Would
And
you
Robert
like to
offers
make
one
an
last thing. Yeah,
Oh.
and he also said, my lord, I would also wish to better quit myself, as last year did not go so well. I would not like Prince Madoc to think that we of Silchester are such poor knights.
So,
Or
Earl
a-
Roderick will pull you close and then hug you like a brother and say, Sir Robert, it's me, Earl Roderick. Hopefully my voice is the same as the last time. Hard to remember. My knight, my brother. If knights such as you are regarded as among the worst in Salisbury, and Prince Madoc were to look down on him, then surely we are a continent of supermen.
so once Sir Robert has finished speaking, Aurelius will speak up and say, well, I certainly understand the need to help Sir Madoc against the Franks. On a practical level, my lord, I would advise, in order that you may help rebuild your forces and your knights, perhaps a more conservative mission and staying with the king may be in order this year, given the enormous losses amongst the more senior knights in the last summer.
Robert just looks at him for a second and goes, don't you need to maintain 4 women? I thought the plunder would be useful for you.
Oh. Make your orate. That's a success. You gain a check. You see Sir Ameg in the crowd. Many nod when you speak, even those who originally spoke against staying in Britain, and Sir Ameg says, yes. Some of the knights here grow old, Earl Roderick. I believe that Sir Aurelius speaks well. The new young knights of his generation must be trained and prepared for battle so that the disasters upon the naval raids never happen again.
Robert's just like, that bloody Duke.
Every single person turns in the room to look at Sasha, the last to speak.
Look, I really don't like attacking people in their homes, so I understand the reason to go and help, but I'd really rather not personally, if you know what I mean. pillaging is for money is one thing, but why not just defend the home while we can? Rebuild like Sir Elias said.
Okay. Would you like to make an orate?
No, not really. Just put my suggestion out there.
That wasn't a request.
Okay, I'll throw it out there then. Do-do.
Nothing bad can happen from this orate. Only good things.
Well, if it's mandatory, I will do it.
Yes.
That's why.
Oh, that's why.
At least you got that fumble out of the way, right? That's how probability works. So you just mumble over your words. People generally don't care about what you're saying because no one knows who you are. Occasionally you see people stop in the middle of a speech and they're like, "Who's that guy?" And they're like, "A while." Oh, right, everyone there's dead.
No, he's like, he's the husband of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
my
Lady
wife
Ella,
has
the
more glory
extremely
than I
famous.
do.
Yeah, she's more famous than half the knights in here at this point, actually. Earl Roderick says, "The knights speak, some for France and some for Britain. But when the older knights speak, they agree it is best to do whatever the majority of player knights want to do. Therefore, we shall stay in Britain. I will tell the king in the morrow." The knights remain in Britain, and they are part of the army that musters at Sarum Castle. They march in a decaying Roman road west from Sarum, through the Selwood, into Somerset to Wells. The Duke of Jagent comes from the south to meet the king. The army slowly moves north towards Bath. There one evening, King Cadway, the Lord of Somerset, meets with Uther in secret. Around midnight, you take your post around the king's tent. Many ranking lords are there, and the king's voice is loud enough to be heard easily through the still air. Uther tells his nobles that King Cadway has agreed not to resist or rebel to him, but only if someone is to volunteer to go into the marsh to seek the water leapers that plague his fishermen. Do any of you have a reckless, valorous, or loyalty Pendragon stat of 16 or more?
Reckless.
I
what?
have Valorous of 16.
Reckless, valorous, or loyalty Pendragon.
Valorous 19.
Okay.
I don't want to run away.
If you have those, you must roll for it now. You both gain checks as you both burst into the tent and immediately volunteer to do this. King
Ooh, I
Uther looks
critted
over
that.
you.
Beats me.
King Uther looks over both of you and turns to Merlin, who knows you, and gives you a grim smile and sends your group out on the job.
Wow.
The three of you can fit in one boat and fight them upon the marsh.
Robert just complained the whole time. We could be raiding Franks, and now we're in a boat in a marsh.
At least we're defending the homeland. Rather than attacking people in their homes.
Yes. And you call yourselves Christians.
We're not Saxons.
300.
I know that. And got nothing against them personally. But
So
Those Franks are no better than Saxons.
So this whole conversation takes place on the boat as the fishermen are like dragging you guys out there. And you see these large legless frogs with thin wings that make monstrous leaps across the water, and the fishermen all begin running, and you guys are like, "Ah, those damn Franks." And this thing like leaps out of the water and goes, so it kind of looks like a tadpole, but with 3 layers of razor-sharp shark teeth. And instead of, like, no limbs, it has 2 gigantic wings. And the 3 of you are beset immediately by these water leapers.
All right.
And Sasha, I'm going to give you this token because I don't have one for you yet.
Alright, I sent it to you a while ago, but
Of course. If it's by email,
Yep.
I did not catch it. So
alright.
they will certainly be put in by the next time. Which won't be for a while because, again, next week is back to Emerald Spire for a short time.
Yeah.
These are cuter, less vicious-looking versions from the book.
Cuter, less vicious.
Yeah, the ones from the book, again, have their mouth open, and you can see that they have sharp teeth. But...
Damn it! I just realized I didn't bring my character sheet with me. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's the problem. You sure you didn't put a character sheet in on your actual character sheet?
I don't think we had
Online?
those for Emerald Spire.
Oh, are you gonna be there next week?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you sent me your character sheet at least once, so. Uh-oh.
Probably.
Uh-oh. Oh, uh-oh.
Yo,
You know
that
what
one
you gotta do? You go and you watch the last week of Emerald Spire, and then you reverse engineer your character. That's how you do it.
I mean, I do have all of the macros, so I can at least do that.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
All right. So they spend their move flying towards you guys. You spend your move. Actually, you guys
Pulling
can
out
all
the
attack
swords.
them first
Mm-hmm.
because they spend their whole move just approaching you. By
I
flying
thought we'd
through
never
the
draw
air.
our weapons.
Oh yeah, I mean you would have had your weapons out. Unfortunately, you
Yeah.
have your squires. So if you
They would
lose
probably
your
be on the
weapon,
boat next to us, though, like ready for us.
Well,
Well,
fortunately,
Robert
I have
has
an
his
extra sword.
swords, so he's okay.
Your squires stay at home.
No, I mean the swords would be.
Yes, of course.
So
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
you guys get one round of free attacks on that.
to rethink,
so
if they can't
are
attack,
we able to berserk
Sorry.
without drawing a attack
No,
counterattack
they'll
from them?
You just get a
definitely
free
because they're
attack.
not attacking, and there's no ranged threats right now. So
Yeah.
Okay.
If you berserk, they do get an attack back.
Well, I'm just
Okay,
going to
so-
do a regular sword attack then, I think.
only
Okay.
when they're
Robert.
specifically attacking somebody that's not you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And they're not defending either. Oh.
All right.
Swing that sword.
All three of you will hit.
Oh.
Ooh,
Willy.
that's a 4 roll.
Okay, it's me hit my demon damage.
Okay, let's see here.
Nice.
The one Sasha fights will take 15 points of damage. One Aurelius fights will take 3. And the one Sir Robert fights will take 18. It has a major wound of 15, so you will lay it a mighty blow, but it will not be unconscious. However, it will probably not survive the night. Okay, they have made their decision as to what they're going to do.
We have to decide?
We have to decide first, I think.
Yeah. I attack.
Attack with a sword.
Robert attacks again.
Okay, all three of them leap out of the water, attempt to bite you, and then drag you under the water.
Oh.
Okay, so let's go first with Sir Aurelius. That is a success.
All right. So counter with a sword.
Ooh.
Okay, you will succeed, and you will fortunately not be dragged under the water and die.
And I am hitting with the sword damage, right?
Yep. Okay, you deal 10 points of damage, giving it another wound. But it is still conscious. Next, the gravely wounded one attacks Robert. It will fail. So it attempts to fly at him, and Robert just guts it. Just reaches his sword up as it flies over him, and just, like, water leaper guts all over the boat. The fishermen that are running about are
Boom.
like,
He's
look
just
at
like-
those! Oh my goodness, I haven't seen guts like that in like 12 years. Pip pip popping.
That's good damage too.
Yeah, that's a mad roll, man. Like,
Yeah.
And finally,
Nice.
the water leaper that is fighting Sasha also fails.
Oh. Ah, shit.
Okay. So they're going to do the same thing. They're going to do fly bites. One on Aurelius. Sasha, what would you guys like to do?
Robert will attack the one attacking Aurelius.
Okay.
Actually, no.
I'm
Oh, I already said it. But actually, no, he'll attack the one attacking Sasha's if they can change it.
Okay.
Because he knows Aurelius is a very
Just
capable
attack them
swordsman.
both. Oh,
I'm going to attack as
Okay.
well.
I'll attack mine.
All right. Let us roll for Aurelius. And Robert, you get to roll as well. You basically have an unopposed attack. Aurelius is going to stomp this one. Yep. We will roll Sasha. This will fail.
Oh,
Okay, roll your damage. Done as well. Each of you gains 100 glory for defeating a water leaper, a mythic creature from beyond time. And you
Yeah.
also gain a certain amount of glory for doing this on behalf of Uther. You each gain another 100.
oh boy, I actually have more
Nice.
glory than my wife now.
Actually, what is the current glory everyone has? I don't think we ever
Yeah,
said
we
that
should
at the
determine
end.
who's primary in the party.
Well, after we started this? Or before? Like,
Now, we should determine it
After, I
now.
put after.
yeah, okay.
Honestly, I
Wow.
think Sasha does.
Yeah, I think
Because
Sasha
he got
does,
that
man.
1,000.
Just because of my wife. Oh,
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm
You're
2,
well
3.
known among the people here for having a really hot wife who makes good food. And... Well, she was a widow of a hero, right? Your
Not really.
Rook died battling on the naval coast.
no offense. He ran away before that point, though.
Yeah, but he redeemed himself by dying in battle. That's how it works. The ones who ran away and survive are cowards. The ones who run away and then come back and die, they're heroes. So it looks like Sasha's actually the leader of the party.
Ugh.
Oh, well, he's the oldest and the most experienced.
Well, not the most experienced, I'd say. Unless you're talking about chopping down trees, in this case, I can tell you how.
Okay. The whole year goes roughly like that. You go around doing small tasks for Uther. In some cases to redeem yourselves, in other cases accompanying Earl Roderick. You hear that the raid upon Frankland was not wildly successful. That the Irish Kerns got out of hand and burned half of the city that they were supposed to be raiding. But that Praetor Seragius ran off on his own and began attacking the other Franks without the support of the British army when Maddock retreated. And so no one has heard from him since then. Would you like to winter over at the royal court or with Salisbury?
I like to stay home, personally.
Yeah, Robert has no particular preference. He'll do what his companions want.
I don't have a preference, so follow the senior in
Leader.
honor, and we'll do.
Yeah.
I'm the worst person to be senior, though, because it's always going to be the simplest answer.
This has been a good year. If asked about the prince's apparent treachery, the Earl says, "The prince does what he does. It sometimes seems as if kings are exempt from the normal laws of humanity. It is not our place to question them, no matter how iniquitous may seem. After all, his actions were done for the good of Britain. The plunder will do the empty treasury well, and King Claudius won't hate us any more than he already does."
Robert's all pissed off that he didn't get any plunder.
Yes, many of the visiting knights that are returning home through Salisbury speak of how they got at least 10 pounds of plunder.
God
They
damn it.
also received much glory.
Robert looks at like Aurelius and like he's like, "I told you guys we should have gone."
Those 10 pounds are what were taken from other people. That's 10 pounds less that they have. I mean,
Those
Franks,
are
though,
enemies.
Franks,
Those are
Franks,
Franks.
though they may
They're
be.
like Saxons.
I don't really hate
It's
Saxons that bad.
You're a Frank lover.
Only an 8.
Okay, so we actually do end of year 488 now.
All right.
So let's resolve some end of year stuff, and then
Well,
we'll
I'm
probably
gonna
take a
check
break.
something. What is a poor knight's lifestyle like? Just kind of a.
3. And you
Oh.
take penalties to all of your end of year rolls, like
Okay.
child survival and stuff like that.